Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So these are my thoughts on yet another humiliating defeat and just truly atrocious performance. These are my thoughts on the match that ended Wolves 4, Chelsea 2. And this is the first time since the 70s that Wolves have not only done the double over us, but actually won at Stamford Bridge. So the first time since the 70s that Wolves have won at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, and obviously this is a couple of days late, this review, but I decided to give myself an extra 1 or 2 days just to rewatch the match again and really get my thoughts together on this whole Chelsea situation. So in goal we had Petrovic, on the left we had Chilwell, as a centre backs we had Disasi and Thiago Silva, and on the right we had Gusto. We had Enzo and Caicedo as our midfield with Gallagher just in front. On the left we had Sterling, on the right we had Palmer, and then up top, great to see him, even though he's not a striker, he's best played just off a striker, but great to see him start. We had Nkuku. So without further ado, let's get into the first half. So into the first half, and I mean, Chelsea didn't start badly. I mean, we had, I think, the first few minutes, Enzo played a good through ball, maybe it was a bit too much pace on it, and Nkuku was unlucky not to get on the end of it. Although that's really the last we saw of Nkuku because, again, no one ever got the ball to him. Anyway, the game started to open up, and you can kind of see it was going to be a back and forth game, with neither side really being able to control that midfield. And then around, I think it was the 19th minute, Caicedo plays a wonderful through ball, through the defensive walls into Palmer. Palmer, first touch, goal, brilliant, brilliant goal. That's exactly what we wanted to see, and especially after that humiliating defeat and just performance in general against Liverpool, it was a perfect start. But of course, with Chelsea, um, I mean, it was a joke. It was less. I think it was 3 minutes later when Wolves scored, and wildly enough, like Wolves got their goal from Caicedo being being taken off Caicedo in the middle of the pitch. So he's lost the ball. Wolves went up the other end. I think Caicedo also made a foul. Great. I can't remember if it was Cunha, who literally gets the ball, cuts in, has a shot, takes a massive deflection off Thiago Silva, and obviously with that massive deflection, it meant that there was absolutely no chance for Petrovic. Wildly enough, this is the second game in a row we've conceded 4 goals. So we've conceded 8 goals in the last 2 games, and Petrovic was probably our best player between both matches. I mean, he has no fault in any of the goals, which is just ridiculous when you think about it. When you think 8 goals we conceded, goalkeeper isn't blamed for any of them. He's just been really unlucky that the rest of the team have let him down. And then obviously just the rest of the half was awful. I mean, Chelsea just looked absolutely atrocious. I don't know how Poch is setting this team up. But again, we have no control in the midfield. It's a basketball game. It's consistently back and forth. Which obviously, for if you're the neutral, then you probably find Chelsea very entertaining. But as a fan, it's just awful to watch it. And at the start of the season, you can kind of say, "Oh, we created loads of chances, we just didn't take them." We're not even really creating much anymore. We just we just get into the final third and then just not really doing anything. So again, yeah, really poor first half, other than like out past the goal. And we some of our players like Gusto, who I've been a massive fan of since he's arrived at the club, he was awful. He wasn't the only one. I mean, in reality, I think probably, I mean, that entire back line was atrocious. But Gusto was making stupid fouls, making errors, just losing the ball, getting the ball back and then losing the ball. The whole team was atrocious. And then right at the end of the first half, I think it was Pedro Neto who just crosses the ball into the box, and then one of their players has a shot, but it's not going on target. Ends up hitting Disasi and going into the back of the net. So obviously, great right into the first half. It, we went from being 1-0 up to all of a sudden, right at the end of the first half, being 2-1 down and it being an own goal. And in reality, it was fair enough. We were just absolutely woeful. And then you go into this, you look at this kind of the end of the first half, and you're thinking there's about 4 or 5 players you could take off right now because they're either not contributing to the team or they're just having really bad games. But we're 2-0 down, and you're thinking, okay, look, we got battered against Liverpool. We haven't been good recently. We've been awful. Surely Pochettino at halftime is going to scream at these players and just get something out of them. But yeah, so we go into the second half, and it is exactly the same team who finished the first half. There's been absolutely no change. Um, and then, I mean, we start off decently. We have a massive. We have two. Well, we have one massive chance from. It was what it was. Ball goes in, a Chilwell chests it or backheels it into Sterling, and then Sterling just completely misses the target. Another player who's incredibly inconsistent, and that was a massive opportunity into the second half. We could then have got themselves back 2-2, and who knows what happened. Then Jackson comes on, and then Jackson misses. He misses such an easy header, which again could get us back into it. But yeah, so Wolves go down the other end. Pedro Neto is then going against Thiago Silva, and it's a complete mismatch. I love Thiago Silva. He's been brilliant for us, far better than I could have ever imagined. Kind of wish we got him earlier as well, because I would have loved to have seen that partnership between Thiago Silva and Terry. But my God, like that was not a good. Like it was a race between the two, and it was not good. It was always going to be Neto who ends up winning this. So get into our box, right at the edge of our box, kind of just before the line, cuts it back to Cunha, goal 3-1, and you're just there like you're just like that's it. It was a disgrace. I mean, and then after that we just capitulated. We made so many errors, more and more mistakes. We then had Mudryk coming on and Kearney. I mean, 20 minutes to go, you're 3-1 down. I don't know what Poch is expecting Mudryk and Kenny to be able to do with 20 minutes. They should have come on straight into the second half. Um, and yeah, we were just absolutely awful. And then obviously right at the end of the match, um, Wolves player gets brought down in the box because Gusto fouls them. Penalty, 4-1, and it's a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. And then right then, a few minutes later, Thiago Silva gets kind of a goal back as a consolation goal, so it's 4-2. So the score doesn't look quite as embarrassing as the other night. But yeah, that's the match, and we had such a massive opportunity. If we had won that game, we could have gone right up. I think 2 points off sixth. We would have been in that conversation for Europa League, and who knows at that point. And instead, we've dropped down behind Wolves. We're on 31 points. We've conceded 39 goals. We're now on minus goal difference because of those last two results. We've scored 38 and conceded 13. I mean, that's a disgrace. That's an absolute disgrace. And it's not been good enough by any of these people. And then, yeah, so now instead of being 2 points or so behind, we're 7 points off sixth. And I don't see any chance of Chelsea getting Europa League. Um, but yeah, that was the full time 4-2. Another really embarrassing result. Yeah, so after that match, Chelsea are now 11th with 23 games played. We are now completely comfortably mid-table. We're looking. I mean, we're looking towards another mid-table finish with 7 points off the Europa League. I don't personally think we're going to get it. I think if we'd won against Wolves and we would have been 2 points off, I think we would have been in that conversation. But not 2 points off. Sorry, 4 points off. 4 points off, we would have been in that conversation. Um, but yeah, 7 points. I just don't see it. We've got a few teams above us who are all comfortably better than us. Newcastle, Wolves, Brighton, West Ham, Manchester United, they're all significant. No, maybe not United, but they're all better than us. And we just look like we've completely got no idea anymore. And obviously, there's a lot of rumours going around about Poch if he's going to be the Chelsea manager. I don't think he's done a good enough job personally. Not personally. I mean, he's obviously not done a good enough job as manager of Chelsea. We're mid-table. Obviously, we've got the cup final coming up, but like if we played the same level we played the other night, or the same level we played against Liverpool, that could be a really embarrassing defeat because they're just significantly better than us in every department. Um, yeah, it's not looking good for the club at the moment. Obviously, there's been a few names going around that like Chelsea might be looking at Alonso, and I mean there is 0% chance someone like Xabi Alonso, who everyone wants at the moment, who's doing a brilliant job at Leverkusen, there's 0% chance he would come to Chelsea. There's no way because for one thing, after Leverkusen, he's going to go either Madrid or Liverpool. I personally don't think Pochettino's been good enough. My only issue is if you sack him, you then rely on the sporting directors we have at the moment to find the right person to replace him, and I have no faith in them. Our sporting directors have been absolutely atrocious. The fact that they prioritise just young youth who have only played 1 or 2 years experience of football, one or 2 years of senior football, it's just stupid, and it's catching up to Chelsea now as well. If you look at if you look at this Chelsea team, there is just too much inexperience in it. That when things go wrong, there's no one for these players to turn to to be like, okay, they've got your back. There's the core that Chelsea used to have. Chelsea used to do it properly in the kind of late 2000s, early 10s, where they had that core group of what Czech, Cole, Lampard, Terry, Drogba, and then you kind of put youth players alongside them just so they got experience and then they can improve, but there's no pressure. The way Chelsea have built this squad is there's just too much inexperience and there's not enough experience. And as much as Pochettino hasn't done a good job, there's also not too much he could do with this squad. It's just too young at the moment. They need to get more players who are in their prime. Um, yeah, this season's already looking like a massive write-off. If we somehow win the Carabao Cup, I'll be surprised. Be a great experience, but I doubt it. I'm personally looking forward to the end of the season. I have no idea. Obviously, it's the Euros, uh, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the season now finishing. But for me, obviously, we're playing tomorrow night against Aston Villa. That is a must-win now. I don't see us winning. Aston Villa again, another team who are comfortably better than us. I mean, in reality, we should have won in the first leg. We had chances, we just missed them. And I don't see this team going to Villa Park and actually getting a result. Um, so yeah, the rest of this month is massive for Poch because if you heard the stadium already, the stadium's already turned against them. There's already boos. There's already this is a very like Stamford Bridge seems very toxic at the moment because people's patience has just worn completely thin now, and there just looks like there's no progress. Like it looks like this squad has made no progress over this season whatsoever. We actually look like we're worse now than we were at the start of the season. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all tomorrow night after the Villa result when hopefully we somehow magically get a result.